last year. Another lovely sunny day then. And I spoke to you all seriously, and I looked around you with my good bossy school teacher's eye, and I said, you're here really because you all want to write, and you all nodded. And I said, I don't want huge recognition for this, just have your book dedicated to me, and a small paragraph saying that you'd never have done it without me.
And I remember being on a bus going through Tipperary, and there was a young girl sitting in front, pretty young girl, and an old fellow got on, I think in Clonmel, smelled a drink off him, fell in alongside her, and said, do you mind taking that thing out of your ears now while I talk to you?
Often in publishing and in books you hear people with scare stories saying, oh, it's struggling and there's so many things competing with reading now, but I think festivals like this show that it's in a really healthy condition.
Well, I mean, last year people came out in great numbers, and this year they're back for much more. We've increased the festival, we doubled the size, we kept the same little venues, and I've just come out of Kevin Barry and it was outstanding.
Because you know, women get to a certain age and they only feel comfortable complaining. Very gentle festival. It hasn't become a monster yet in terms of looking for huge corporate sponsorship. It's great. This is what we're good at in Ireland. This is what we really enjoy. Talking about ideas and stories and life and the human soul. I mean, all that stuff is really important. We can't lose sight of that.
And the events, we're told, are sold out, so obviously people need it and thirsting for it.
And George Bernard Shaw insists on a very particular type of discipline.
You spend so much time alone as a writer, you know, in the little office, alone with your thoughts, and it's nice to go out there and show it to people, talk about it to people. It's what it's all about. You need readers, or you're writing into a void.
He tried to make a list of all his achievements. I know the capital of Portugal. It's Lisbon.
It's really nice to come to one place and you've got the adults and the children catered for. I have to make sure I'm on my toes because I don't use the language I'd normally use with adults and with children.
And probably my most famous book for adults is a book called Paddy Clark, Ha Ha Ha. And I didn't know it was going to be called that, even when I'd finished it, because I couldn't come up with a name for it. And I don't know what it is about me that I just can't think of it. Naming my children didn't seem to present the same problem. Luckily enough, you know.
I love the idea, anything to do with books and words and encouraging people to increase the size of their brains and engage in conversation. I love that. This is natural territory for me, so it's lovely. It's kind of like Sesame Street for nerds.
Would it collapse or surprise you to know that the molecule theory is at work in the parish of Dalkey?
What would you do if you were faced with that deficit and you were running the country?
Well, I think I would implement the McCarthy report, lock, stock and barrel, to start with.
We're surprised that other countries are pursuing their own national interest at the European table, in the same way that we are.
But hang on a second. You say they're pursuing their national interests like we are. A lot of people feel that we're not pursuing our national interest. And we are going to the ECB and say, please, can we burn the Anglo bondholders who are not guaranteed? Please, oh please ECB, let us. And what does ECB say? Well, maybe not.
We in Western Europe, we love our motor cars too. We want cheap energy, and because of this, we have turned a blind eye to the intolerable regime in Saudi Arabia.
I wrote several books on Saudi Arabia. I researched there, and this is the first time I agree with you.
I love the notion of something being very feminine, being tempered with something masculine. So we just did these huge, ginormous skirts with a variation of a man's evening shirt.
It's amazing you can do something like this with writers like Roddy Doyle and and just O'Connor. It's amazing, actually.
People like you.
Me too.
I don't think anybody could have rendered that novel into a movie other than Neil.
Everybody is affected by the arts, and the society that can make time for the arts or boost the arts is one that boosts its own culture, its own people. Paula was giving out sweets to the kids and wine to the adults, and they all got then a tour of Queen's Undertakers. So culture, has reached new heights. David McWilliam started it, and you know, because he met a trader who was very despondent. David said, right, we've got to get people in. You're not getting them in the shop. We've got to get them into the village. You could do well.
People can come together and do things for themselves. There's no doubt in my mind. The whole vibe here and the whole idea behind this festival is don't wait for somebody. People don't wait for the IMF or the ECB or even Obama. Do it for yourself. Go tart up your town, get people out, get writers in or whatever your bag is, and do it. And it can change things.
He owns Dalkey, that guy. What did he ever do for Dalkey that he's so entitled? Nothing except give us a great weekend. He's the best. I love this. I love somebody trying to do something positive. So keep it going. Yeah.